写真をお願いします。
どうも。
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Foreign Correspondent Club of Japan. My name is Pio D'Emilia. I'm from Italy, member of PAC. And our guest today is the famous journalist and political commentator,田原総一朗. A few years ago, if we had田原総一朗speaking at the club, we would have probably the double of people. But this is not because he is not any more famous. It is because politics in Japan are not any more interesting, probably. I don't think a person like Tahara needs an introduction, at least for journalists or the likes. Let me just remind you that this guy is 83 years old and still holds up every week a program that has become a must here in Japan. I would say that if you watch that program once a week, you don't need to read any newspaper, probably. And he's a guy that grills politicians here in Japan like nobody else does. The program is called Asa Made. Asa Made? On Telebi Asahi. And it's live, one of the very few live programs in Japan, as you know. He's also known because he has a very good personal relationship with most of the Japanese politicians. Probably if you get hold of his keitai, he will have a lot of interesting numbers. Especially with Mr. Abe Shinzo, who he has been criticizing a lot in the past, even recently, but he still has a kind of very close relationship. So I'm sure that today he will delight us with some comments on Mr. Abe, whom he recently advised, if I'm not wrong, to do the same thing that Koizumi did, to go to North Korea and deal directly with Mr. Kim. But I will leave himself talking about all these things, including the developments of the political situation in Japan, if there is one. Welcome back.
今ご紹介いただきました田原総一郎です。よろしくお願いします。
Well, thank you for the introduction. My name is Soichiro Tahara. Thank you very much.
今日本の総理大臣は安倍晋三という人です。
Well, the current Japanese Prime Minister is Shinzo Abe.
安倍晋三は歴代総理大臣と全く違う特徴があります。
And this Shinzo Abe happens to have a characteristic which is totally different from his predecessors.
歴代首相は、政治家はそうなんですが、政治家になるときに 何のために政治家になるのかということを考え、そして政治家になる決意をしました。
Well, looking at the past prime ministers, also politicians in general, when they decide to become a politician, they know why they want to become a politician, and they are committed to fulfilling that purpose when they become a politician.
彼はそういう決意を全くしてない。
But he has made no such commitment whatsoever.
おじいさんもお父さんも政治家だった。
It so happens that his grandfather and father were also politicians.
だから彼は影をつくように政治家になった。
So he just followed the footsteps of his predecessors, his grandfather and father, and became a politician.
そのことが彼の良さでもあります。
But that is also the good aspect of Mr. Abe.
割に誰の言うことでもちゃんと聞きます。
He is willing to listen to anyone who has something to say to him.
普通の人です。
He's just an ordinary person.
その普通の人のだらしなさが典型的に現れたのが森友家計事件だと思います。
But I think the typical result of him being a normal person and not thinking carefully resulted in the Moritomo Kake in scandals.
あんなものは日本にとって、ね、日本をどうこうすることでは全くない。
Those incidents had nothing whatsoever to do with this situation of Japan.
政治が歪んだとか間違ったとかいうことでも全く関係ない。
And it's irrelevant to whether the politics in Japan are distorted or mistaken.
単純に言うと、森友学園問題ではこの、国有地が8億円以上安くなった。
Well, to put it simply, first of all, the Moritomo Gakuen incident, this was a case in which this national land was sold to the school at a discount of about 800 million yen.
なぜ安くなったのか。
Why the discount?
その理由を財務局はそれなりのきちんとした文章を書いたと思う。理由をね。
And I think the Finance Bureau had written up a document which relatively well explained the reason why the discount was granted.
その文章を国会で示せば何の問題もなかった。
Had he shown this document at the Diet session, nothing would have really happened.
この安倍内閣は4回も選挙に勝って一強多弱、気が緩んだ。
But I think this cabinet, Abe cabinet, having won 4 elections and being the only power in politics and the opposition being very weak, the cabinet became complacent.
もう一つ悪いことに小選挙区制になって自民党の議員がみんな安倍イエスマンになった。
And another bad thing is that due to the introduction of the single-seat constituency, all the LDP politicians became a yes man to Mr. Abe.
誰も文句を言わなくなった。
No one dare complain to Mr. Abe.
そこで安倍内閣の、重要閣僚がこんな文章があると野党から質問されてめんどくさい。
And so the Abe cabinet, especially the important cabinet ministers, have said that if people were to know about such a document, it will cause a lot of trouble amongst the opposition camp.
なかったことにしよう。
So let's pretend it didn't exist.
で、だからこのかわいそうなことに財務局の責任者が国会で嘘800。誰が聞いても嘘っぱちの答えをせざるを得なかった。
And as a result, this poor official from the Finance Bureau had to testify in the Diet session, giving all these lies, these very apparent lies.
政府はその、官僚に悪いことをしたと。気の毒だと思って彼を国税庁長官にした。
And as a result, the government felt sorry for this bureaucrat because he had to defend this position, and therefore he was given the post of the head of the tax bureau. Tax bureau, yes, National
家
Tax
計の
Bureau.
問題も、安倍さんは賄賂も何ももらってない。
And also the Kake incident as well. Mr. Abe is saying he's not received any bribery whatsoever.
あんなものは簡単で、委員たちに筧幸太郎は40年来の友人である。だけど友人だからといって甘くするなと。きつく審査しろと。一言言えばこれで全部 OK だった。
So had Mr. Abe said to the committee members who were screening that though Kotaro Kake is a 40-year-old friend of mine, he's very close to me, but don't think about any such things when you screen the documents. Instead, be very strict with him. If he had said so, nothing would have happened.
彼は、神経がたるんで面倒くさいと思った。
But he got lax, and he didn't bother to say any such things.
だから全く知らなかったと言った。
And then so he said, I knew nothing about it.
この間閉会中審査で初めて知ったのは今年の1月20日だと言った。
And during the out-of-session deliberations, he said he came to first know about this on January the 20th.
去年だけでも7回筧幸太郎と飯を食いゴルフをしている。
But just last year, he has met with Kotaro Kake for 7 times, had dinner, and also golfed with him.
これを知らなかったというのを信じろというのは無理です。
It's impossible to think that Abe knew nothing about this.
しかしいずれにしても日本をどうこうする問題はないではなくて実につまんない問題。
But, even these things really do not have a major impact on the country itself, the nation itself. These are really trivial things.
ところが日本の野党は安倍首相を攻撃するのにこれしか材料がない。
But the opposition camp only has this ammunition to launch an attack against Mr. Abe.
今国民の最大の不安は北朝鮮とアメリカがいつ火を吹いて戦争になってもおかしくない緊張状態にある。
Yes, I think the biggest concern that the Japanese people hold today is the fact that tension between North Korea and the United States has reached a point where a war could break out at any time.
私の友人は、チキンレースの段階が終わってロシアンルーレットだと言ってる。
And a friend of mine said that the chicken race stage has ended and now we are in a Russian roulette stage.
4日にトランプ大統領が日本にやってくる。
Mr. Trump will come to Japan on November 4th.
何しに来るのか。
Why?
いろんな情報がある。
Well, there are lots of information about that.
中には韓国の名にサードを売り込みに来るんじゃないかという情報もある。
And some people say that he's probably going to be a salesman to try to sell the same THAAD as are deployed in South Korea.
1機が1300億。
So one THAAD costs some 130 billion.
3機で3900億。
Meaning that with times 3, that will be 390 billion.
さらに問題はこの日本を訪ねた後にトランプさんは中国で習近平主席と会談する。
And what's even more problematic is the fact that after Mr. Trump visits Japan, he goes to China to meet President Xi Jinping.
いろんな情報がある。
Again, there's a lot of information about that.
一番極端な情報は
And the most extreme?
もしかするとアメリカが北朝鮮に武力交渉をする可能性がある。
And is that maybe the United States will try to use force against North Korea.
その時中国は黙って見ててくれ。
And if that were to happen, Mr. Trump may ask Xi Jinping to just turn a blind eye.
いずれにしても、今年の年末から来年にかけて、アメリカと北朝鮮の間で火を吹く危険性がある。
But at any rate, towards the end of this year to next year, there is this possibility of such an outbreak between the United States and North Korea.
防衛省の幹部も外務省の幹部も私にそう言っている。
And this is something that both top officials from the Defense Ministry as well as the Foreign Affairs Ministries are saying to me.
安倍首相も側近にそれが大変心配だと言っている。
And Mr. Abe is also saying that he's very worried about this to his close aides.
もしそういうことが起きれば、日本にミサイルが飛んでくる可能性がある。
Because if such a thing were to happen, there's a possibility that missiles may land in Japan.
ところが、なぜか今回解散するときに、安倍さんはそのことを言わなかった。
But for some reason, when Mr. Abe announced that he will dissolve the Diet, he made no reference whatsoever to North Korea.
外務省幹部は私に、とにかく年末から年明けにかけて、このアメリカが武力行使をする可能性がある。
But meanwhile, the foreign ministry top officials are saying to me that there is the possibility that the United States will opt to use force against North Korea from the end of this year to the beginning of next year.
日本としてはそのための体制を作らなきゃいけない。
And Japan needs to get ready for such a possibility.
そのためにできるだけ早く選挙をしたい。
And they're saying that because of that reason, they would like to see that the elections take place as early as possible.
防衛省の幹部もそう言っている。
And that's what the Defense Ministry top officials are also saying.
安倍さん自身がの側近たちにそのことをしきりに言っているそうです。
And also, I hear that Mr. Abe is also talking about these things frequently to his close aides.
ところがなぜか解散の理由に安倍さんはそのことを言わなかった。
However, for some strange reason, he did not list North Korea as one of the reasons for dissolving the Diet.
なぜ言わなかったんだ。
Why didn't he say it?
外務省や防衛省の幹部に聞いた。
I've asked the officials at both the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as well as the Defense Ministry why.
官房長官にも聞いた。
I've also asked the Chief Cabinet Secretary why.
そしたら安倍さんの側近の一人が、それ言うと国民が非常に危険視する。全く触れない方がいいと言ったそうです。
And so, as a result, one of his close aides saying that if Mr. Abe were to make reference to such things, the Japanese people would get scared.
そこでくだらない消費税を 2% 上げると、こんなことを理由にした。
And that's the reason why he came up with this silly reason saying that he's going to increase the consumption rate by 2%.
こんなものは解散しなくても国会で論議すればいい。
But this doesn't call for a dissolution of the lower house. This can be deliberated in the Diet.
そのために野党は大義なき解散だと。
And that is the reason the opposition camp is saying that there is no specific reason for the dissolution.
森友加計隠しの解散だと。
And that's why they're saying that this is simply a dissolution to try to hide the facts about Moritomo and Kakegakuen.
新聞やテレビもそう報じた。
And also the newspapers and TV news are also reporting in such a way.
それはいいとして、この選挙戦で野党は全くこの北朝鮮、アメリカ緊張状態について論議しなかった。
But putting that aside, I'm looking at the election campaign. We don't see the opposition making reference to or debating this issue of North Korea and the tension North Korea has with the United States whatsoever.
国民の生命を守るのは与党の仕事で俺たちは関係ないと、そういう姿勢だった。
And their attitude is that it is the ruling coalition's responsibility to protect the lives of the Japanese people. It has nothing to do with us. That is the opposition's attitude.
だから国民の多くはこんな選挙になんか関心が持てなかった。
And that's the reason why many of the voters are not showing interest in this election.
もう一つ大きな問題がある。
And there's another big problem.
アメリカやヨーロッパの国々では選挙になると保守とリベラルが政権の座を争う。
Well, in the case of the United States or the major powers in Europe, when it comes to an election, it is a contest between the conservatives and liberals.
アメリカで言えば共和党が保守で民主党がリベラル。
And in the case of the United States, the Republicans will be the conservatives and the Democrats will be the liberals.
保守は経済の面では自由競争。
And for example, the conservatives, when it comes to the economy, they will be upholding free competition.
そして政府は社会のことにあんまり介入しない小さな政府。
And also, they hold the banner of a small government. In other words, the government not intervening too much into the social issues.
しかしそれをやっていると貧富の格差がどんどん大きくなり、この、競争に負けて生活が苦しくなった人たちがどんどん増える。
But if you go too far in this direction, then you will see that the disparity between the rich and poor becomes greater, and the losers in the competition will find themselves struggling with their livelihood.
そこで次の選挙ではリベラルが勝つ。
And therefore, as a result, in the next election, the liberals win.
リベラルは生活が苦しくなった人々を救うために、社会保障、福祉、ガンガンこれに金を投入する。
And what the liberals will do in that case is that they see these poor people who are suffering and having difficulty making both ends meet, and they would spend a great deal amount of money on social security and welfare.
すると財政が悪化する。
And as a result, the fiscal balance would be deteriorated.
そこで次の選挙では保守が勝つ。
And in the next election, the conservatives would win.
保守がいいかリベラルがいいかということではなくて、言ってみれば保守とリベラルが代わり番号に政権についている。
So it's not either or, whether the conservatives or liberals are better or not. No, instead, it's good to see that both the conservatives and liberals take turns taking over the government.
これが世界の状況です。
That is the global situation.
ところで日本では自民党は保守党です。
Whereas in Japan, the LDP is the conservative party.
ところがその自民党は経済面ではリベラル。
However, the LDP's economic policies are liberal.
ばらまき政策です。
So it's pork barrel.
だから1000兆も借金ができた。
And that is the reason why we have as much as a 1,000 trillion yen debt
さら
deficit.
に民主党の野田政権の時に消費税を 10% にすると約束した。
And also under the DPJ government, Noda, the then prime minister, promised to raise the consumption tax to 10%.
ところが自民党の安倍政権はそれを先延ばしにしてきた。
However, the LDP Abe administration has continued to put off this consumption tax hike.
つまり自民党は世界で言えばリベラル。
So, meaning that from a global standard, the LDP is liberal.
今回その安倍首相が 2% を消費税を上げると言った。
And this time, Mr. Abe said that he will raise the consumption tax by 2%.
すると希望党の小池さんをはじめ全野党が反対。
And then Ms. Koike of Hope, as well as all the other opposition parties, opposed this.
つまり日本には保守がないんです。
In other words, Japan doesn't have a conservative party.
かつて民主党という党が政権を取った。
In the past, there was a time when the DPJ took the helm.
自民党は密室談合政治だと。
In other words, they were saying that the LDP decided everything behind doors.
俺たちは開かれた政党だと。
And they claimed that they were an open party.
政治の形が大きく変わると宣言した。
And they said that politics will change now that the LDP is in office.
ところが実態は何も変わらなかった。
But in reality, nothing really changed.
ただ自民党は政権取っている期間が長いので割に政治がうまい、ずるいと言ってみる。
So I think the LDP, because they have been in government for a long period of time, they are more used to the way of doing things in politics, and they are sly, and put it another way.
民主党は正直で下手。
Whereas the DPJ, they're too honest. They're no good with politics.
この違いだけが出てきた。
That's the only difference that you see between them.
さて2つ。つまり今回の選挙戦では一番肝心のこの、アメリカと北朝鮮との緊急事態どうすればいいのか一切これが論争にならず、それからこの消費税の問題でも全党がつまりリベラルだと保守がないことがはっきりした。このことをなぜか新聞もテレビも全く疑問視しない。
And so I raised these two things. On the one hand, when it comes to this election, the important thing is this state of emergency we see between the United States and North Korea. And there should be a debate on how Japan should be addressing this emergency. Yet, if you look at the debates, there is no reference made whatsoever to the North Korean situation. Secondly, about the consumption tax. All the parties are supportive of this, and therefore we found that they are all liberals, no conservative parties here in Japan. And they're saying all the same things about the consumption tax. And for some reason, the newspapers or TVs are not questioning this whatsoever.
とても不思議な国だと思う。
Japan is a strange country.
以上です。
That's all.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you to the interpreter who splendidly translated it very efficiently. Okay, now we open the floor to the questions. Please, working journalist first, if this rule is still on, yes. And please come to the microphone and state your name and affiliation. So who's the first? Please. Dozo.
フランス店ゲイレポーターの酒井優斗です。よろしくお願いします。世間の各政党への支持率を調査した統計では自民党 29% で圧勝とのことでしたが、なぜここまで自民党が支持率が高いんでしょうか。よろしくお願いいたします。29% ですね。はい。
Yes, and well, I have a question about the upcoming election. It seems that the LDP is heading towards an overwhelming win. They're winning a support of 29%. Why is the LDP so strong?
それはさっき言ったように野党が何も主張してないから。何も主張してない。
That's because the opposition, they're not doing anything. And they're not asserting anything.
具体的に言いましょう。過去4回選挙があっていずれも自民党が大勝している。その時選挙の時に私は野党の各党首たちにいいですか、アベノミクスの批判なんて国民は聞きたくない。
Yes, and over the past 4 elections, we have seen that the LDP has enjoyed a landslide victory. And at that time, I've asked the leaders of all the opposition parties, and I stated to them, first of all, that the Japanese public are not interested in your criticizing Abenomics.
もしあなたの党が政権を取ったら、どういう政策を出すのか。アベノミクスに代わる対案、これを示してほしい。
Yes, and so I said to them that what the public are interested is in knowing what your party would do if you were to take the helm, and what policies you would set up if you were to become the ruling party. And the people want you to show an alternative to Abenomics.
ところが、誰も対案を示せなかった。で、国民はアベノミクスに満足してるんじゃない。不満があるんだけど、どっからも対案が出ないから仕方なく我慢している。これが現状です。
But none of the opposition party leaders were able to come up with an alternative. So it's not the case that the Japanese people are satisfied with Abenomics. They have this discontent, and yet no one is presenting them with an alternative. So they're stuck with it, and they have to persevere with Abenomics.
今回もユリノミクスっていうのを言い出した。私は期待したんだけど、中身は何もなかった。
Well, and this time we hear this new term, Urinomics, and I had some hopes for that, but I opened up and saw there's nothing inside it.
Okay, please.
元国民新聞論説委員藤田と申します。田原さん、戦争を体験した世代なんでお伺いした、戦争をね体験した、軍歴はないでしょうが、戦争を体験した世代なんでお伺いしたいと思うんですが、下手すると次期政権は戦時内閣で、我々ももちろん1945年の占領から朝鮮戦争、ベトナム戦争と、戦時ジャーナリストが多かったんですが、我々もしかしたらその戦時ジャーナリストになる可能性もある。でそうした時に果たして田原さんが体験したような悲惨なですね戦争体験をせずに日本を守るためにはどうすればいいのか、それを具体的にですねお伺いしておきたい。
Yes, I'm Fujita, and I'm from the Kokumin Shimbun, formerly from the Kokumin Shimbun. But Mr. Tawala, you have experienced the war. I won't say that you went to war as a soldier, no, but still you've experienced the war. And it might be that the next administration, next cabinet, will be a wartime cabinet, depending on how things evolve. Now, Japan has experienced after 1945 the occupation forces, and then after the Korean War, the Vietnam War. There have been journalists who have gone to the battlefield. But in order for us to, as journalists, avoid seeing such atrocities as in the past in these wars, what should Japan do to defend this country? Please try to be specific.
私は戦争を知っている最後の世代だと思う。私が小学校5年生の夏休みに玉音放送がありました。で、小学校では5年生から社会の授業が始まる。そこで1学期、この社会の授業で、先生が、この戦争は世界の侵略国であるアメリカ、イギリスを打ち破り、アメリカやイギリスの植民地にされているアジアの国々を独立させ、解放させるための正義の戦争である。だから君らも早く大人になって戦争に参加して天皇の陛下のために名誉の戦死をしようとこう教えられた1学期。
Yes, Yes, I think that I am one of the members of the last generation who knows that war. It so happens that I was in 5th grade in primary school, and during the summer holiday, I was told about But still, in that grade, there was one semester which was dedicated to teaching social studies. And what the teacher said at that time is that this war is a war against the United States and Britain, which are occupants. They are aggressors, and we have to beat them so as to liberalize and give independence to the Asian colonies of these countries. So this is a war of justice, and all of you have to grow up fast so that you also can fight for this country and die a noble death. So that was what I was taught when I was in 5th grade.
先生だけでなくて校長をはじめ、あるいは NHK のラジオも朝日新聞、毎日新聞全部そう言っていた。ところが2学期になると先生の言うことが全く変わった。
And so that was what everyone was saying, as a matter of fact, not just my teacher, but the principal, NHK Radio, Asahi Shimbun, Mainichi Shimbun, everyone was saying exactly the same thing. That was the first semester. But then in the second semester, the teachers started to say something totally different.
2学期になると先生が実はあの戦争はやってはいけない戦争だった。
And so in the second semester, after the war ended, I was told that that was a war that shouldn't have taken place.
間違った戦争だった。
It was a mistaken war.
日本が侵略戦争をしたんだと。
And Japan was the aggressor.
で、君らは平和のために頑張らなきゃいけない。
And the teacher said, you have to work hard for peace.
戦争が始まりそうになったら体を張って戦え。
And if you see that the country is on the verge of entering into war, do everything within your means to prevent that from happening.
それから1学期までは英雄だった東條英機さんをはじめ軍の幹部が占領軍に逮捕された。
And also in the first semester, we were told that Tojo Hideki and others were the hero of Japan. But these heroes were detained by the occupation army.
1学期まではラジオも新聞も東條さんをヒーローだと扱っていた。
First semester, radio, TV were applauding Tojo as a hero.
2学期になって占領軍が東條さんたちを逮捕するとラジオも新聞も逮捕されるのは当然だと書いた。
And second semester, things changed, and the occupation army arrested Tojo and others, and they said, well, the radio and all the media said, it's only natural that he be arrested.
いかに東條や軍の幹部が悪いことをしたかとこぞって書いた。
And everyone wrote about the bad things that Tojo and the military did.
これが私の原点で、大人たちがもっともらしい口調で言うことは信用できない。
So this was the starting point for me, actually, and I came to learn that what the adults try to make sound decent is not to be trusted.
特に偉い人の言うことは信用できない。
Especially the big guys up there, what they say are not to be trusted.
国家は国民を騙す。
And the government deceives the people.
マスコミも全く信用できない。
The media is not to be trusted whatsoever.
これが私の原点で今もそう思っています。
That's my starting point, and I still uphold this belief.
So we shouldn't trust you.
じゃあ、田原さんは私たち信用してはいけないんですね。
なんで？
Why?
メディアの方。
あなたは実はマスコミを信用してないと思う。だからジャーナリストやってるんでしょ。
That's why you're doing this.
Yes. Okay, next question.
じゃあ次のご質問。
Okay, while you wait, I'll do one.
じゃあ私の方からその。
Let's. Until now, you spoke as more as a politician. Let's ask you a couple of questions as a journalist.
はい、今までのご発言はどちらかというとその政治家的な観点からだったんです。もう少しジャーナリストの視点からお聞きしたいことがあります。
You mentioned before Mr. Trump. You mentioned Mr. Abe. If you would have the chance to interview Mr. Trump or Mr. Kim, Kim Jong-un, who would you go for?
先ほどの話の中でトランプ、そして安倍さんの話が出ていたんですけど、もしタラさんがインタビューをするチャンスがあった場合、トランプのインタビューをしたいですか、それともキム・ジョンウンのインタビューをしたいですか、もし機会があればどっちがいいですか。
もちろんトランプのインタビューしたい。
Of course, Trump.
キム・ジョンウンなんて面白くないと思う。
I don't think it would be fun to interview Kim Jong.
はい。
なぜですか。面白くない。
面白くない。
はい。なぜ。
つまりいかにアメリカと戦うかということしか言わない。
Because he's only going to say how he's going to fight against the United States.
Okay. Next question is somebody. Yes, どうぞ。
じゃあ次。
フリーランスの小山です。日本の政治家はダメだと。日本の
ダメだとは言ってません。
そうですか。
信用しないと言ってる。
で、日本のマスコミは信用できないと。
はい。
よく分かりました。しかしこれはニュースでも何でもなくて、多くの日本人がそう言ってます。
思ってます。
ね、そこでですね、これを良くするには何が必要なんでしょうか。
私は日本
すいません。Freelance, I'm Koyama, and you said that the politicians are no good, and no, that was denied. I just said I do not trust politicians, and neither do you trust the Japanese media, and well, I got your point there. But I think many Japanese feel the same way. But what can we do to improve this situation?
私は日本が間違った戦争に入り込んだのは基本の基本は言論の自由がなかったからだと思います。私はこの言論の自由は自分の命をかけても守らなきゃいけないと思っています。
Yes, well, I think the basic reason, the very fundamental reason why Japan entered into this mistaken war, this wrong war, was because there was no freedom of speech. And I think that you have to even risk your life in order to defend freedom of speech.
一例を言いますと、さっきの朝まで生テレビが始まった翌年、昭和天皇の病気が重くなって危篤状態になった。
Now, yes, to just give one example, this was the year following the year in which Asanama Television started to go on air, and the Emperor Showa was extremely sick. He was on the verge of dying.
そこで、編成局長に今こそ天皇問題をやりたい、天皇の戦争責任を問いたい、こう言った。
And so I went to the desk of the TV station and said that, yes, this is the time to take up the issue of the emperor, to look into the emperor's responsibility for the war.
バカ野郎って言われた。
Stupid, I was told.
このバカ野郎のやり取りが4回ありました。
And there were such four conversations like that.
で、最終的には分かったと。テーマ変える。
And in the end, he said, I got it. Okay, you get your point, but I'll change the theme.
その年、韓国のソウルでオリンピックが開かれた。
And that was the year in which the Seoul Olympic Games was held in South Korea.
そこでオリンピックと日本人でやると言った。
He said the theme will be the Olympics and the Japanese.
編成局長はそれはいいと賛成した。
And so the desk said, that's a good idea, let's go with that.
新聞で予告したタイトルはオリンピックと日本人。
And if you look at the newspaper, the TV program, it said the theme is Olympics and the Japanese.
ところが朝まで生テレビは午前1時過ぎ、つまり夜中の番組です。
But Asanama Television, this is aired during the midnight. In other words, it starts from 1 a.m.
で、生だから 実は天皇の戦争責任をやりました。
And it's live, so no one can complain. So, in substance, what we debated was the war responsibility of the emperor.
編成局長を騙したわけです。
So, we deceived the editor.
翌日、編成局長に謝りに行きました。
The next day, I went to apologize to him.
ところが番組は視聴率が非常に良かった。
But the viewing rate was extremely high.
評判も非常に良かった。
Very good reputation.
編成局長が田原さん悪いけど大晦日にもう一回やってくれ。
And he said, Tasan, do me a favor, do it again on the eve of New Year's.
それ以後、朝前生テレビはもうタブーにどんどん挑むということをテーマにしています。
And ever since, Asanama Television became a program which always tries to challenge these taboos.
その一つ、日本にいる、韓国系の、連合会がある。で、北朝鮮系の連合会がある。両方を出てもらって、北が正しいか、韓国が正しい討論をやりました。
And one example is, of course, we have these federation of South Koreans living in Japan as well as North Koreans living in Japan, and we got both of them to appear on the program and debate which is right.
大統領になり、殴り合いになり、下手すると殺し合いになるんじゃないかと思った。
I thought it would become a terrible debate, and people would start to hit each other, and there would be a big problem arising from there.
ところが、実は大した討論にならなかった。
But the result was, it wasn't such a big a debate.
北も南も本当は仲がいいんだなと思いました。
And I came to understand that both North and South Koreas, they are on good terms with each other.
そういうこともありました。
So that's all.
Stop there.
フランス天皇及川と申します。先ほど日本には保守がないということでしたけれども、ユーロ圏に限っては今左翼も右翼も両方とも財政緊縮路線で、極右と極左だけが社会保障をやろうという状況になっているので、それはちょっと日本とは違うなと思いました。それで質問なんですけども、田原さんは女性宮家の創設や女性天皇についてはどのようにお考えなのかお伺いしたいと思います。
So I'm from France 10. Morikar is my name, and you mentioned about the Conservative Party in Europe. But as a matter of fact, even in Europe, there are the left and right parties, and they are more or less the same. And it's only the extreme right and left which are trying to promote social security. So that's slightly different from what you've mentioned. But still, my question is about the emperor. What is your opinion about a female emperor and a female member of the imperial household becoming the head of an imperial household family?
もちろんいずれも大賛成です。で、天皇自身もその両方は実現したいと思って。
I support both, and as a matter of fact, the emperor himself wants to see both happen.
反対しているのは日本の右側です。日本会議とか。
And those who oppose this are the right-wing organizations, Nihonkai and others in Japan.
日本の右側は天皇を敵だと思っています。
Because the right wing, they think of the emperor as their enemy.
あんなのはお祈りさえしていればいいんだと。沖縄行ったり、サイパン行ったり、ペルー島行ったり、あるいは靖国へ行かなかったり、とんでもない人間だと。右翼にとっては天皇は敵です。また天皇はその日本の右翼と戦っていると思います。
And so I think that what the right-wing organizations here are saying is that the emperor He doesn't have to do anything. He just can sit and pray. That's all he should be doing, not going to Okinawa or Saipan or others and Yasukuni. And so I think that that is what the right-wing organizations think about the emperor. And the emperor also is trying to fight against the right-wing organizations.
さらに言えば、安倍内閣の多くの閣僚が日本会議に入っています。
And as a matter of fact, many of the ministers in the Abe cabinet are members of this right-wing organization, Nihonkai.
彼らは天皇を敵だと思っているはずです。
So they're thinking that the emperor is their enemy.
Before you mentioned that there is no big difference in the parties, you mentioned that in Japan all parties are conservative. Well, I'm sure you would exclude the Kyosanto, the Communist Party, but that doesn't count, I understand. May I ask you another thing? You talked about taboos. Japan being different, being a strange country like you defined before. For us Europeans, one of the biggest issues that we are trying to press on Japan is the death penalty. What do you think about the death penalty?
はい、ありがとうございます。先ほどの話の中では、日本の政党はどれも大して変わらない、みんな保守党であると、もちろん日本共産、they're all liberal.
Sorry.
失礼いたしました。そうですね。すべてリベラルであると、日本共産党は例外としてですけれども、日本共産党はカウントしないということで、それは別に考えておきたいというふうに思います。で、それはさておき、先ほど別の話題でタブーとおっしゃいました。で、日本はその変な国であると、他とは違うというようなことをおっしゃったんですけれども、一つヨーロッパが日本に対して、ぜひ考えてほしいのが、その死刑廃止、死刑の廃止、なんですけれども、この点に関してはどのように考えていらっしゃいますでしょうか。
実は、昔京都大学に高坂正坂っていう教授がいました。私はとっても信頼してました。で、高坂さんと私の、意見は死刑は廃止しない。しかし死刑は廃止しないけど執行しないという意見で一致しました。
Well, there used to be a professor called Masazaka Kosaka at Kyoto University, whom I trusted very much, and he and I shared the same opinion, that is to say that we will not abolish the death penalty, but the death penalty should not be executed.
今でも you still think like that?
同じ考えですか、今も。
We have not so much time, but I think another couple of questions. Who wants to? Okay, I'll give it later, but let's have a lady.
はい、あと2問ぐらいしか時間ありませんので、女性の方どうぞ。
AFP 通信社の長谷川と申します。ちょっと選挙のことに話を戻したいんですが、この選挙は自公で勝つというような世論調査の情勢出ていますけれども、選挙後に安倍さんは選挙が終わってから今度安倍さんがどんなことに取り掛かるというふうにご覧になってますか。特にどんな政策に手をつけるというふうにご覧になってますか。
小池さんの
Hasegawa from AFP, and I'd like to ask about the election once again. People are saying that the LDP and Komeito are likely to win, but what about after the election? What kind of policies is Mr. Abe likely to set out after the election?
小池さんの希望トーンが憲法改正に賛成なので、私は憲法改正に手をつけると思う。
Well, as a matter of fact, Ms. Koike's hope is supporting the amendment of the Constitution. So I think that Mr. Abe will go ahead and try to amend the Constitution.
ここで一つ大事なことを申し上げたい。
And I want to say something important here.
実は去年9月に安倍さんに会った。もちろん1対1でね。
And yes, as a matter of fact, last September I had a chance to meet with Mr. Abe one-on-one. That is September last year.
その時に、衆議院は、与党で3分の2を取っている。この間の選挙で参議院も3分の2を取った。 いよいよ憲法改正だねと言いました。
And at the time, I said that in the lower house, the ruling coalition has 2/3 the seats, and now with this election in the upper house, the ruling coalition also has 2/3. So now's the time to go ahead with the constitutional amendment.
もう言ってもいいと思いますが、実はその時安倍さんが実はと田原さん大きな声じゃ言えないけど。憲法を改正する必要が全くなくなりましたと言いました。
And I think I'm safe to say this now because some time has passed since then. But what Mr. Abe said was, Mr. Tahara, I really can't say this in a loud voice, but actually there is no reason anymore to amend the Constitution.
なぜと聞きました。
I asked why.
そしたら実は集団的自衛権の行使を決めるまではアメリカがやいのやいのとうるさかった。
Well, and he was explaining to me that until Japan adopted the new policy admitting Japan's right to collective defense, collective self-defense, the United States was saying a lot of things and telling Mr. Abe to amend the Constitution.
アミテージやナイが声高に叫んでいた。
Mr. Armitage, Mr. Nye, Dr. Nye were pushing me to do something about this.
日本でも岡崎久彦、北岡伸一、中西博たちが集団的自衛権をやるべきだと盛んに言ってました。
And also in Japan, likewise, Hisahiko Okazaki, as well as Shinichi Kitaoka and Hiroshi Nakanishi, these people were also pushing me to make it possible for Japan to exercise its right to collective self-defense.
読売新聞や産経新聞を盛んに言ってました。
読売新聞、産経新聞, these newspapers likewise.
ところが集団的自衛権の行使を決めたらアメリカは全く何も言わなくなった。
But once Japan decided that it will go ahead with the right to collective self-defense, the United States stopped saying anything about these things.
満足したのでしょう。
The United States was probably satisfied.
だから憲法を改正する必要はない。
And that's the reason why I don't see a need to amend the Constitution.
ただこの後があります。
But there's more to that.
ただ日本の憲法学者の7割近く、実は 63% なんですが、自衛隊は憲法違反だと言っている。
And that is to say that amongst the Japanese constitutional scholars, he said 70%, but to be more precise, 63% of these constitution scholars are saying the self-defense force is unconstitutional.
だから憲法に自衛隊の存在を明記したいと思う。
And that is the reason Mr. Abe said he wants to stipulate the existence, the presence of the self-defense force in the Constitution.
私は安倍さんそれは誤解だよと言った。
I said to Mr. Abe, you are misunderstanding the situation.
実は憲法学者の 63%、確かに朝日新聞の調査で自衛隊は憲法違反と言っている。
I said, yes, it is true, according to Asahi Shimbun's survey, that 63% of the Constitution scholars are saying that the self-defense force is unconstitutional.
しかし、だから憲法改正をしようと言ってるんではなくて、逆です。
And I said, but that doesn't mean that you have to amend the Constitution. Rather, it's to the contrary.
今の自衛隊は軍事力世界第7位。
And the current self-defense force, in terms of its military capability, ranks 7th in the world.
当然ながら高戦力も戦力もある。
So it does have the capability to launch attacks.
だから今の自衛隊は憲法違反。
And that's why the self-defense force is unconstitutional.
だから軍縮をすべきだっていうのが憲法学者の意見です。
And therefore, Japan should implement disarmament, is what these scholars are calling for.
という話をしました。
I told him that.
David, we're running out of time, I'm afraid.
David McNeil for The Economist. You may already have talked about this because I arrived late, but you recall that you came to the FCCJ about 2 years ago to discuss pressure on the media. There was a lot of conversation afterwards that there was no pressure on the media, that this was all in our imagination. This was at the time, if you recall, when 3 anchors in Japan had quit at the same time, or roughly at the same time. I wonder if you have any other views sort of 2 years down the road on whether pressure on the, first of all, whether it exists, but whether it has increased in the last 2 years on the media, political pressure. Thank you.
はい、エコノミストの問題ありますが、ちょっと遅刻したので、もうすでにお話をされているかもしれないんですけど、2年前にもFCCJ にいらっしゃった、2年前、田原さん、FCCJ ここにいらっしゃったと思います。その時にですね、その政治的な圧力がメディアにかかっているというようなお話をされたと記憶しております。当時、3人のキャスター、アンカーがほぼ同時に辞めたという、そういったことが起きたその時期なんですけれども、その後、その見方っていうのは変わるようなことはありましたでしょうか。そもそも、そういった政治圧力っていうのがあったのかどうか、この2年間、そういった政治圧力があるのかどうかについてお話しいただけますでしょうか。
日本では具体的に政治圧力はないと思っています。なぜならば、私は3人総理大臣を失脚させています。でも私は逮捕もされてない。で、その政治圧力はないんだけども、実はほとんど新聞社やテレビ局の幹部が自粛規制をするんです。こういうことをすると政府に睨まれるんじゃないかとかで、99% 新聞社やテレビ局の幹部の自粛規制だと思います。
Well, I think that in the case of Japan, there is no such thing as political pressure on the media. I have myself personally have criticized and as a result ousted 3 prime ministers in the past, but I have never been arrested. And therefore, from this example, I think you can understand that there is no such thing as political pressure on the media. However, what exists is, be it the newspapers or television stations, it is the executives of the media who exercise self-regulation. So they think that if they were to report such and such thing, the government will get very upset with them. And therefore, I think in many of the cases, when the media opts not to report certain things, this is in 99% of the cases, this voluntary regulation or restraint where the newspaper or TV stations make their decisions on their own not to report.
もしも総理大臣や官房長官が具体的な圧力をかけたということを知れば、私は総理大臣や官房長官にとんでもないことをする、やめろと言いますよ。で、総理大臣を失脚させます。
If there were to be any such cases in which either the Prime Minister or even the Chief Cabinet Secretary were to put pressure on me or the media, then I would immediately tell either the Prime Minister or the Chief Cabinet Secretary to stop, and I would immediately take action to oust them out of office.
もう時間ですけれども、もう2人の大丈夫ですか。どうぞ、マルティン。
Martin Kölling with the Financial Times, with Handelsblatt. Oh my God, I'm living in the past already. My question is regarding the elections. And here, for me as a German, it's obvious, it seems to be that there's a big gap between, there might be a big gap between a lot of voters and the offerings the political landscape has to have. I wonder, there's basically no liberal left party in our European sense left in Japan anymore. Do you think that there is a gap between the voter base? Do you think that many voters in Japan don't have a party that represents them on the left? And then what kind of outcome do you expect for this election? Do you think that still that in this election again 50% of the voters will stay home, or do you think that this time there will be a bigger mobilization?
ありがとうございます。フィナンシャルタイムズのものなんですけど、昔はですね。自分でもう忘れちゃったんです。そういう意味だったんですね。はい、すいません。もうそうでないのを間違えました。はい、でもこの選挙をめぐって私自身はドイツ人なんですが、ドイツ人です。で、どうしても有権者とその政治の間の乖離があるように思います。そのギャップが存在していて、特にその左派の有権者がその日本にはリベラルの左派の政党がないがために投票したい政党がないんじゃないか、自分たちを代表してくれるとないんではないかというふうに思っている節があるんではなかろうかというふうに思っています。で、今回の選挙はでは結果的に投票率どのぐらいになると思いますか。今までは例えば 50% の人が投票所に行かないというようなことがあったんですけど、今回は少なくとももう少し投票率は良くなるというふうに思いますか。
60% ぐらいいけばいいと思ってます。60%。
はい。Well, first of all, the fact you asked where the liberals and the left should be voting for, there's the Japanese Communist Party to vote for. And in regards to the turnout ratio, I think you'd be lucky if you were to see a 60% turnout.
日本人というのは不思議な民族で、あまり政治に対する不信感を持ってないんですね。
Well, I think the Japanese people are a bit strange in that they don't have that strong a distrust in politics.
この20年間に実質賃金 18% 落ちています。
Over the past 20 years, the Japanese have seen their real income decline by 18%.
アメリカやヨーロッパなら不満のデモが起きる。日本はデモも起きない。
So had this happened in the United States or Europe, there's bound to be demonstrators on the street. But this hasn't happened here in Japan.
Okay, I think we have to... well, you are very young, so yes.
若いから最後にチャンスを。
田原さん、はじめまして。タレントであり、フリーランスのハリー杉山という、ものです。ジャーナリストの、息子です。この時代、昔あった紙だけではなく、この時代は例えばインスタグラムとか SNS とかさまざまな分野で誰でもジャーナリストになり得る時代だと思うんですけども、そういう時代の中で、ジャーナリストを目指すという人々に対して、一つだけアドバイスがあればそれは何になるでしょうか。
Yes, and I'm a talent, and also I'm the son of a journalist, Haru Sugiyama. But, just one question about the journalists. These days, it's not just on paper, but instead we have Instagram, SNS to report on things. So anyone these days could become a quote-unquote journalist. So can you give one message, advice to people who are wanting to become a journalist?
一つは好奇心を持つこと。二つ目はあらゆることを疑うこと。
Yes, my advice, number one, is to always maintain your curiosity. Number two is to doubt everything.
Okay, Mr. Tahara-san, thank you very much. I hope we will have you after the elections to see if you were right or not. And enjoy the club. This is a membership for 1 year. So I know that you don't drink sake, but you can drink a lot of amai mono.
Thank you very much.
Please.
どうもありがとうございました。